Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and to Writing Wednesdays. Today we have a brand new topic for the writing task. I know it's been a while since I've been away, but I'm glad to be back and we're going to be a lot more regular now. So let's see, here we've got human activities have negative effects on plant and animal species. Some people think it is too late to do anything about this problem. Others believe that effective measures can be taken to improve the situation. Discuss both views and give your own opinion. So, fairly standard discussion essay. I mean, at first, you might think, when you read human activities, negative effects, plans, etc., problem, you read words like that and of course the word measures as well, a lot of you might think that this is a problem solution essay. So that's where you got to be careful. This is not a problem solution essay. It's really important to read the whole thing, the whole prompt from beginning to end, because a lot of people don't do that, right? And then what happens is if you misunderstand your question, then the whole thing just goes kaput. So yeah, this is as long it's here's a quick tip. Anytime you see discuss both views, you know right away you have a discussion essay. That's it. Now, the other thing, of course, is how exactly do I write a discussion essay? That is something that we teach our students from scratch. But even if you just follow these videos, I'm sure you'll get a relatively good idea. So let's begin. Right, so first things first, you need to have your, that's what I would do. I mean, your process might be different. Your step one, step two, step three might be different. I just do things the way I find most comfortable. So maybe I'll have my main ideas and my supporting ideas, then main idea number two, and of course the introduction. Should I write the introduction first? I think I'll just write my main ideas first. Okay, so first I need my weak opinion. So some people think it's too late, other people think that you can still fix it. Yeah, I think I'll do it this way. Um, uh, it's too late to do anything. I sustained a lot of damage. However, see, the trick is for discussion essays and advantage disadvantage essays, at least these two, take your main idea sentences and put them together. See, do the two of them fit nicely? Like if I put these two sentences next to each other, does it flow? That's what you want to check for. Non-human life on the planet has sustained a lot of damage. However, there is still time, or maybe, however, with the right kind of effort, the planet's biodiversity, the planet's biodiversity can still be salvaged, or maybe, salvaged or protected. Now, these two sentences, they flow nicely together, right? I could put them right next to each other and it reads nicely. But of course, this sentence starting with however is actually my main idea. So let's put that over here. That's how you check, because this is one of those things under coherence and cohesion. Cohesion is everything, fitting together nicely. Think of it like Lego blocks, right? You put one thing on top of the other, you make like little buildings, structures, etc. So yeah, right, then I need to have my supporting ideas. Some people think it's too late. Okay, many species died out or are extinct. Many more struggling to survive. Whoops. Don't worry about, like, when you're making your notes, you can just use short forms, any kind of short forms, because your notes are for you. No one's going to read your notes. You're gonna delete them, or you're gonna have them on your piece of paper, or you're gonna erase them. So don't take too much time with idea generation. Okay, don't write like huge sentences and stuff, because then you'll be doing double the work. So that doesn't really make sense, right? Many species have died out, many will survive. Whether already, I mean, This August, we've had the driest August in 122 years in the city where I live. This is just one, example. There were floods in Europe last year, I think. Crazy weather everywhere. I mean, the damage has already begun. Let's say climate, not weather. Weather is like day to day. Climate is long term. So climate has already changed. And of course, the problem with changes in climate is that I just read this article somewhere. Not really. I just read a headline actually. It was some country, I don't remember which one, but they were having to spend money. I think France, maybe. I think so. Yeah. So because of all the, I mean, the temperatures are rising. Just in May this year, in fact, May or June. No, not June. I think July. Yes, so July, late July. I think everyone's read the news. The temperatures reached 45 degrees Celsius in Italy. That's crazy. I mean, it's not abnormal for, the Balkans and Southern Europe to, have hot summers like 35 degrees or 30 degrees or so is normal for summer, but 40, 45, forest fires, all those things, not so normal. So the damage is already, it's already begun. It's not some like in the 90s, the early 2000s, you'd read constantly all these warnings and threats. And like in the future, this could happen, and now it's happening. It's here. We're in the future. So the climate has already changed. And of course, when the climate changes, that also means that a lot of species cannot deal with that. If it's too cold, if it's too hot, they cannot survive and then they die out. So yeah, the right kind of effort. Of course, we have the aid of technology. I mean, human beings are so intelligent, so creative. We can do all kinds of things. Uh, so there's always hope. It's good to be optimistic, I guess. So planet spider. Okay, what else can we do? There's lots of good breeding programs, not just breeding for animals, but also there's this vault. I think it's in Norway. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But they have like a doomsday vault. So there's a lot of seeds. I think there's more than 1,000 different types of seeds that they've got, stored there. So in case of disaster, you still have those seeds. You can propagate plants from those seeds. So yeah, good breeding programs have had success, especially with when you think of animal breeding programs. But take the example of China. They have managed to increase the population of their pandas, and it's been super successful. Lots of other animals, Siberian tigers and things like that. So yeah. We have technology. What else? Good breeding programs have had success, plant and animal species. Yeah. So we could, for example, I would say people are actually becoming more sensitive, more conscious, and so there is, they like a lot of people will recycle plastic or not use plastic as much as single use, thin plastic bags, coverings, wrappers, stuff like that. People, in large groups, they're starting to understand, for example, things like fast fashion are not good for the environment. Um, Lots of people know that, buying like a cheap dress or top, yeah, it saves you money right now, but it's, poor quality, it, goes bad quick. Then it ends up in the landfill. And so people are a lot more aware now. People are, changing their lifestyles, especially because, of course, now we have proof that, our previous lifestyles were really not so good. Many species already died out, many don't survive. Unique flora and fauna. I think maybe these two actually kind of belong together. Okay, then I need a new idea. Numbers already changed. I think this, okay. Sometimes you may need to rearrange your idea. So you can put that over here. That looks a lot nicer. It's a much better flow. Already changed. People, yeah. And here I think I have a bit of a cause and effect thing going on. People didn't pay attention to all the warnings that we had in the 80s, 90s, 2000s. And of course, as a result, many species have died out. I don't know if you've watched this video, but there's a video on YouTube. It's, I don't know if you can search for it. It's like the last bird. There was some bird, I don't know its name, but that bird was singing, of course, trying to attract a mate, but of course, no one responded because that bird was the last of its species. Very depressing. Many species died out, many more struggling to survive, changed. So it's like, things are gonna get worse. And there we go, technology, people become more sensitive. Good breeding programs have had a lot of success. I think these two are related, so we'll keep them together. There we go. Wait, and now I can write my introduction. There we go. So human activities have negative effects on plant and animal species. Okay. Okay. Despite, or maybe you can talk about the Industrial Revolution, because before that people primarily lived very simple agrarian lives, but when we started being able to mass produce things, that's when you have bigger factories, bigger entire industries, because you can produce more goods. So maybe we could say that the environment has faced a lot of, we also say a lot of insult is an old word for damage. Nowadays insult means something else, but technically that also means, it's a very formal style of using that word. The environment has, oh, I've already used the word sustained. I don't want to use it right here, that will be too close. The environment has since the or maybe yeah, I could write it like this: industrial revolution, da 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 da, right? I can continue the sentence like this, although it's a little bit of a complex construction. So maybe you want to write down, since the Industrial Revolution, the environment has. That would be a simpler way of doing it to avoid mistakes. So the environment has, since the Industrial Revolution, we can say collision course, downward spiral, has been on a downward spiral thanks to increased we can say increased human greed and carelessness, right? More and more companies, more and more businesses. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Right, so been on a down spiral thanks to increased human greed and carelessness. Despite the popular notion, oh, well, it's not typing. Oh, there we go. Okay, despite this being on a downward spiral, despite, despite, oh, you can say, for example, doomsday-esque predictions. That's so, okay. Well, I don't want to write into my predictions made, or predictions. Well, predictions are made by people, so I cannot avoid writing people here. Maybe, despite the, belief of, there is still some hope to be had with respect to, the future of all life forms on the planet. Yeah, something like that. Despite the fact that a lot of people like to, basically say that, okay, we're all doomed now, this is the end, I think there's still some hope to be had. There's still some hope. There's still hope to be had. That looks better. Let me just check the word count. Great. You don't need a huge introduction, okay? Just 2 sentences. That's it. Then I've got my main idea, so I'm gonna take that, copy that, put that over here. Yeah. Unfortunately, despite having, been bombarded essentially with all sort of warnings or planet's future, okay. Fortunately, despite having been bombarded with sorts of warnings about the planet's all manner rather might be a better word to use. Sorry, I had to sneeze. All manner of warnings about the planet's future. Few, if any, few people had paid heed. Despite having been bombarded with all manner of warnings about the planet's future, few people had paid heed to these, considering them, exaggeration. Yep, there we go. As a natural consequence of this carelessness, many plant and animal species have already become extinct, and many more are at serious risk of extinction. Okay, there we go. With practically 0 chances of survival. One thing is you want to use weak modal verbs, so I'm gonna check that. Has sustained despite blah blah blah. People will really the consequence we're gonna have or many more. Might be many more. Could be great. Another compounding factor to this, or maybe another compounding factor is the fact that climate change is no longer a threat but a reality that we live in, that we find ourselves in. As all over the world, people are starting to notice irregular climate. What else? Irregular climate that creates an environment unsuitable for the long-term, let's say, oh yeah, many life forms. And there we go. Pattern, sorry. Oops, I forgot. I forgot the preposition. There we go. Well, of course, when you're writing, you're in kind of in a zone. I always recommend check your paragraph once you've written it. We don't want to break that flow of writing. You can always make edits and corrections. This is already 114. Okay, good. Despite having been bombarded with all manner of warnings about the planet's future, a few people had paid heed to these, considering them exaggerated. As a natural consequence of this carelessness, many plant and animal species have already become extinct, and many more could be at serious risk of extinction with practically 0 chances of survival. Another compounding factor is the fact that climate change is no longer a threat, but a reality that we live in. As all over the world, people are starting to notice irregular climate patterns. Patterns create an environment, so this would have to be, yep. an environment unsuitable for the long-term sustenance of many life forms. Thus, um, I usually like to use if, but in this case, it might just be better to use a normal sentence. Long-term ignorance has led to a lot of devastation. Well, has led to some devastation. Don't want to use very strong words, right? And then we have the other side. However, this is my strong opinion, the side that I do favor, the side that I do support. So I'm going to use strong modal verbs here. It is important to remember that mankind as a whole is immensely creative and intelligent. And, you know, we, the human race. In this case, it's okay to use we. I usually avoid using personal pronouns, but here we're referring to humanity as a whole, so that's fine. Or maybe you could just use humanity. Why not? And humanity has managed to achieve quite a lot of feats, especially in the world of, you know, well, pretty much anything in science, in the field, of science and technology. Oh, I just had this idea. Let me know what you think. If you're watching the video, just leave a comment down below, because I know a lot of you are, you know, strapped for time. You may not necessarily have the time to watch the whole video, because it's going to be like, it can be 25 minutes, it could be 40 minutes, could be an hour sometimes, depends. So how about I just read out the entire essay and put that, you know, like in a podcast or something, so you can just listen to it, you know, while you're maybe driving or, you know, on the train or bus or something, or doing some other work. So that way you get good ideas, right? So I think I'll do that, but let me know if you think it's a good idea. That way you can just, you know, pretty much like hear an entire essay in like 5 minutes or something. I think that might be a good idea. Let's just let me know if you think it will be helpful. So it's important to remember that mankind as a whole is immensely creative and intelligent, and humanity has managed to achieve quite a lot of feats, especially in the fields of science and technology. As proof of this, consider the many, you know, breeding programs, many successful, right? China, for instance, has managed to increase their panda population, and India has managed to increase their, what was that, tigers? I think so, yeah. Whoops, it should be population. There we go. As proof of this, consider the many successful breeding programs for work. Clearly, when, you know, with the support, or, you know, with, well, we can say when there's a will, there's a way, but that's too idiomatic for an essay. It's a little bit casual. So clearly, with, you know, government support, which obviously means money. So with government support, it is possible to bring back plant and animal species from near extinction. Okay, great. People are becoming more and more sensitive, yeah. Additionally, or of course you can use furthermore, in addition, etc. All very nice transitions, but I just want to use something different. It's all about the flow. See, when you write a lot, you tend to think, okay, does this fit nicely? One of these days, maybe I'll show you one of my texts. You can call them essays, I guess, that I've written for my, well, I'm doing a lot of other language lessons, so I, you know, have written exercises for German, And just a few days ago, I wrote like a 528 word thing. Of course, it'll have a few mistakes in there because I'm just like a intermediate level, so not great yet. But you know, it's all about flow. In any language, it can even be your own language. So that has nothing to do with the specific language. It has to do with your way of thinking. I'm gonna see if I can create some kind of mini course or book or something I can put on here on YouTube, and you can kind of, you know, train yourself that way. Okay, so here, as proof of this, breeding programs, blah blah blah, 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 blah. Or you know what? I can just, oh, this is like getting complicated, but I like it. I love big sentences. I cannot lie. Look at this. This is the entire sentence. This entire sentence is, oh my God, it's a 46 word sentence. It's crazy. Okay. Right. I think additionally fits really nicely. I mean, yeah, you know, it just makes so much sense. Maybe I can use not only but also. Not only oh yeah, yeah, exactly. Not only are governments across the world working hard, right? But their citizens are becoming, you know, aware, more environmentally conscious as well. In fact, most people nowadays are very careful about their plastic usage. And many people, you know, demand that companies use, you know, eco-friendly packaging. Whoops, eco-friendly packaging and ingredients. All of this put together, you know, it paints a bright future for the planet. Of course, when you think about all this, it takes time to see change. Change isn't quick, you know, just like the damage wasn't quick, right? So this paragraph is a little bit bigger than this paragraph. Maybe I can extend this one. I don't want to delete anything from here. Become extinct, such as the dodo bird. Actually, I don't need to capitalize. It's not a whoops. Zero word. Many more could be at serious extinction. Practically zero chances of survival. The compounding factor is the fact that climate change is no longer far off threat, but a reality that we all live in. It's all the world people find out. There we go. Okay, that's good enough. Then I need to write the conclusion, and so the conclusion is relatively easy. You can just start like this, and the conclusion is evident that in spite of the destruction, I mean, yeah, you cannot negate the destruction that 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 has already been caused. In spite of the destruction that has already been caused, it is still highly likely that, let me read that once again. In conclusion, it is evident that in spite of the destruction that has already been caused, it is still highly likely that with enough, you know, collective will, right? Planet Earth could, you know, be put on a better path, and it's all of its inhabitants would see a better life, something like that. Future, sorry. If, however, action is delayed, or let's say delayed or denied, then of course it is let's say, then of course, maybe the planet, I've already used the planet. The world could soon stop supporting any life. There we go. So a little bit of a warning to end my essay with. And there we go. Let's see. That is 63. Okay. How much is the whole thing? This is 388 words. A little bit on the shorter side when I compare it to my other works, but relatively okay. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of scroll so you can read. This is the introduction. You can pause the screen to read it. I will probably just record this as an audio kind of thing and put it on Spotify or something, or maybe even just YouTube if you would prefer that. Then we have the next one. This is paragraph 1, body paragraph 1. Body paragraph 2 over here. And you have the intro, you have the conclusion. At the end, you have all the ideas over here. And there we go. So that's the response to this one. I hope you found it useful. If you're here, I just have a request. Please like the video. It really supports us. And if you're one of those people that haven't subscribed yet, please do. We have a lot of useful videos coming up. And of course, there's also lots of past videos you could see. Lots of content for speaking and writing. And if you have any comments, any suggestions, I'd love to hear from you. Please leave a message down below. And I'll reply to all comments. So, yep. And if you have any, other questions about the exam, again, you can just drop a comment down below and maybe I'll create a video about it. So yeah, I'll see you later in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.